can't dribble right.
You want to stand up?
Yeah, I can.
I can't get a stool.
Yeah, let me get a stool and shit. I can do both. That's Nick right there, the ghost. Y'all know the voice. You ready, Nick? That's Nick. See, he get me right. Down here, Amadon Studios and shit. Feeling good. I can't record in the booth with the Buddha, so I'm in the corner of the lab.
Make sure you blowing, make sure you turn your head and blow it out. Don't blow it in the mic.
It's the right mic issues and shit. They don't want the weed smoke fuck up the mic.
You can put it in the resin.
You heard it.
Shit at the end of your blunts, when you niggas be blowing in these microphones, that shit at the end of your blunts to be sticking to your mouth, or you touch your white t-shirt, that brown shit get on, that's what's in the microphone.
Okay. Let's get it on. I get something to ash in so I don't gotta move and shit. Over there and shit. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Broadcast live and shit. I should do this in one take. I'm passionate about it. But yeah, play my song. I could do this whole episode just off the notifications that's coming through my phone right now. Everybody talking about this shit is viral. I feel like back when Doug Williams won the Super Bowl and shit, man. Like, I do and shit like. We on? I want to hear I need to, you know. Website, knittage, website. Let's get them. Yeah, let's go. You ready, Nick? Let's get them. Play my song. Shout out to Big Lou. Jersey. Shout out to Big Lou. Play my song. That's my shit, man. Make sure y'all get that Pillmatic project. I'm in the building, man. I'm feeling vainglorious. Just came home from the gym. Watched college football, my first complete college football game that I watched in I don't know how long, yo, especially if it wasn't like a national championship game. Good old college football, Saturday college football on the couch, vibing, grooving and shit, you know what I'm saying? Scrolling with my phone, tweeting, commenting, posting, watching this masterpiece of a football game, man. Like, that shit was crazy. Shout out to the Colorado Buffaloes and shout out to the TCU Horned Frogs, man. Instant classic. It's gonna be spoke about for weeks and weeks and weeks to come. But I came to the studio today to, of course, work on the vocals for my Shaheem Franklin story, and I watched that game. And I'm in the vibe, so I'm gonna just stay here and shit and create. So yeah, this TCU game, Deion Sanders, essentially Deion Sanders in Black America. Y'all know how we rally around our, you know, our sports figures and shit, especially during times like this. Deion Sanders making his transition from Jackson State, a historic black college and university, to the Division 1A leagues. With all of the the major coaches, the power coaches, the power schools and shit, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Alabama, all of that. He in the league now. First game of the season. TCU is giving Colorado a clean 20 points. Clean 20 points. That's what they saying. That's what all the bookies saying. They was underdogs. Yeah, terrible underdogs in this game and shit. And I tuned in. I was at the gym when I was on my live stream, and people with my live stream was telling me that the game was coming on and shit. So I left the gym. Boom. Get home, and it's 7-0 already, right? They playing on the road. TCU played in the national championship last year. They're heavy. They're ranked number 17. Colorado ain't even ranked. They don't got a chance by no means, according to, the football world. They're expecting Deion to fail. When Deion left Jackson State, when he left Mississippi, he brought his specialty players with him to Colorado. He brought a squad with him. He brought his dogs with him. And when he got there, he told guys who were already at Colorado who was just coming off of a 1-11 season. He told them, y'all can go ahead and enter the transfer portal if y'all want. He's like, y'all can get the step. And this is my new quarterback. And he introduced his son, Deion Sanders. And people had a problem with that. They didn't think that Shedeur could compete on this level from the quarterback position. And they didn't think that Deion Sanders would be, successful, I guess. Especially early on. And found themselves in a dogfight. I just like to say that had Colorado not made so many mistakes, penalties, man, suck-ass penalties, like, on the kickoff, they kicking the ball out of bounds. That placed the ball on the 35-yard line and shit. They was doing shit like that. You had an 88-yard kickoff return. An 88-yard kickoff return given up in the third or fourth quarter. That was very, very severe, and they ended up scoring off of that. TCU scored on 5 of their last 6 possessions. They were scoring. They got a big running back named Trey Sanders. He was making his statement that the Sanders family from Colorado wasn't the only Sanders in the building. He was representing. He had 3 touchdowns. He's a big back. He was originally Alabama. He played at Alabama, and he got hurt and ended up transferring to TCU. He's from Texas, so he's kind of playing in front of his home, his home crowd and shit like that. And he's a big back, bruiser. They couldn't do nothing with him. It seemed to me that Colorado, all of their power and all of their expertise, of course, is in the secondary and shit. The secondary was getting busy. I can't recollect a defensive lineman or a DN or a linebacker that was making a big impact on this game. I feel that everything that happened was Shedeur Sanders, of course, his efficiency. He threw almost 50 passes. I think he was like 40 for 46 or some shit like that. Like, he was way up there, and he was completing them like a motherfucker. 4 touchdowns. No interceptions, played an incredible game, and they just was making all of the good play at the right time. I feel they used speed. Speed was in their favor. They got a little tailback. He was number 3. I can't remember. I think his name was Edwards. He scored 3 times, number 3. They was throwing the ball underneath. A lot of the damage that was done to TCU wasn't the long ball. He threatened them with the long ball several times, and he completed some long ones. Completed some very big passes. But, underneath, he was throwing them underneath, and they was these little screen passes and shit, these little slants, these little backs was getting that rock and getting behind them linemen. Shout out to Colorado's linemen. That was a big issue and a topic when Deion came to Boulder, Colorado. He was saying that the guys that he brought with him from Jackson, they was dogs. And he said that Jackson, he said he could have competed on a Division I level with Jackson State, right? But they didn't have a big enough line to compete with the big schools. The big schools, they get all that beef. They get to select all the beef first. But Jackson, of course, had the speedy little backs, the corners, the safeties. Y'all know what we do with the speed and athleticism. Quarterbacks, they can't. He brought them with him, and now he had access to a bigger recruiting pool and, of course, the transfer portal, in which he was able to get some beef. In the line, he had 510 fucking passing yards and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't recall him running one time. I think he tried to run one time, and he just basically got back to the line of scrimmage. And that was shocking to me to see that skill set entirely from a black quarterback. Like, shit, even Warren Moon cut out on your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of them would skip on you if they had to, but he wasn't doing it. And people in my comments were saying, they said he ain't never been no runner, never, ever. They said he never played like that. They said he's a passer and shit. And I seen a lot of people saying that, you know, Deion's relationship with Tom Brady affords him access to, you know, Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks and mentoring. And I could just see him being told by somebody like Tom Brady not to run the ball. Here you go, Nick. It's like the way that he was playing the game, the way that he was playing the quarterback position, and I played QB. It was like somebody told him not to run. He got sacked 3 times. He got sacked 3 times. One, I clearly seen he could have took off to the left. And it just, like, he believed in that. He believed in his arm. He believed in his arm. If he got time, he gonna get it there. His wideouts was representing. Colorado is back. They're 1-0. They just beat a 17-ranked team in the nation in the TCU Horned Frogs, who known for getting busy. TCU got a rep for, you know what I mean, football. A Texas school. And from the door, they made a statement in front of them. High-scoring game. Both teams had 40-plus points. 40-plus apiece. It seemed the commentators were saying, and I seen it with my own eyes, that Colorado was kind of like soft up front on the defensive line because it was kind of running the rock, doing what they wanted to do. But in the fourth quarter, when it counted, the defense locked down. They got pressure on the quarterback, and we got it. We got a statement from Deion. He says to SportsCenter, this is a message for the haters. We told you we coming. You thought we were joking, but guess what? We keep receipts. That's the Hall of Fame coach speaking his truth. This shit was like an event, man. Like, this is only game 1. They play their first home game. Their home opener is next week against Nebraska, who's one of their rivals, right? But that home opener is gonna be crazy. They coming off a win on the road. Boom. Oh, when them games was going on commercials, there was Deion Sanders commercials, like products he's endorsing and shit like that. Like it was just the Deion afternoon, like the Deion hour. Like the whole time that they were on, it was just the Deion hour. Every commercial break, it was at least one Deion commercial or a Deion commercial about the University of Colorado promoting the school and shit like that. The recruiting is gonna go through the roof. Like, this is the big... People want to see scoring. People want to see touchdowns. People want to see a good game and shit. Like, nobody expected this. The commentators were saying it. Twitter was going crazy the whole time. All of the Hall of Famers and all of Deion's peers and former, teammates and shit, they was on Twitter going crazy. It's still trending right now. They on Twitter like, oh, Prime, you got this shit. This was at halftime. Colorado took to halftime, their first lead in 2 seasons, in 2 years. They ain't led at halftime in 2 years. So, yeah, they showed up to the fight. The second half, both teams came out slugging. Immediately. Fireworks, long balls, just everything that you could want in a football game. It was almost like it was a national championship game, I'm telling you. Like, and TCU put up, I believe, 42 points. I believe the final score was 45-42. They put up 42 points. They wasn't fucking around. They got off to kind of like a slow start, but they was favored, and they was at home. And Colorado went down there and made that statement. Colorado has a player by the name of Travis Hunter. Deion is already speaking his name in the Heisman. He's speaking his name in Heisman, and this is his first game at Colorado. He's speaking Heisman talk already and shit, right? He's playing both sides of the ball. He played over 100-something snaps in. I think they said it was over 103 degrees on the field or some shit like that. Over 100 snaps. And I'm watching this shit, and I'm telling my cousin, I got my cousin on, me and my cousin on fucking FaceTime watching the game together. He watching it at his crib, and I'm watching it at mine, and we still talking and shit, like we commentating it together, and I'm like, man, he don't give a fuck about this shit, man. He in the zone, man. That nigga don't want to come out the game. Like, he getting the rock. They was still throwing it. He was throwing in the rock. He played wide out on offense. Man, this motherfucker getting the rock, catching the rock and shit, getting picks, man. This nigga's a hawk, man. This motherfucker ain't trying to come out the game. He not. Like, this motherfucker is on a natural high, man. He's sweating. It's hot as fuck. He making plays. Yo, he dropped a touchdown pass in the first half. Another touchdown pass that he actually caught was overturned by instant replay. And on defense, he just totally was locking shit down. He had an incredible interception on the 2-yard line, Nick. On the 2-yard line. Red zone shit. Mano a mano, ISO joint. On the island. I'm talking about, and you're going to see this highlight for the rest of the season. I'm telling you. Made this boy famous on the island. Travis Hunter, number 12. Colorado uniforms, they came out all white with gold metallic numbers. Their numbers was all shiny and shit. I'm like, Deion done took all of the extravagance and everything up there, yo. Like, for real. The merchandise is going to go through the roof. I'm copping me some fucking Deion shit, some fucking Colorado shit. Straight up. Here you go.
That's probably be the top selling colors.
Oh, definitely. That shit about to go through the roof. I was thinking, I'm like, this gonna turn into a UNLV situation. Remember back in the day how, the UNLV and the Fab Five and shit like that? Like, some cult shit. Like, it's going to turn, Colorado's going to turn like that. Prior to him, they had Cordell Stewart was a big-time quarterback at Colorado and shit. They played for the Steelers. He ended up playing wide receiver and kick returner and QB in the league and shit. Cordell Stewart, Darian Hagan, and a guy that a lot of y'all know as I believe he's known as an offensive or defensive coordinator now, Eric Bieniemy, who was a terror at tailback for Colorado. They was running like fucking wishbone, like some old crazy shit, man. Like triple wing T offense, some crazy shit. Darian Hagan, they beat. I was a Notre Dame fan, huge Notre Dame fan. Colorado gave us the business one year and shit. But Ray Caruth also played for Colorado. Shout out to the University of Colorado. They trending on Twitter. Ain't nothing like a good old-fashioned shootout, man. That was a shootout, man. Motherfucker want to see some college football because you don't see that type of shit in the NFL. Defensive coordinators in the NFL, they got a remedy for your ass. They'll slow your ass down. But today, sheesh, they didn't have no answer for the passing offense of Colorado. Shedeur put up 510 fucking yards. He broke the school record. This is his first game there. He broke the school record, 510 yards. He also broke the record for first starts, players who had their first start, and notable players, and it was like Coy Detmer. It was some notable guys on that list who had like 400 yards. I told my cousin in the third quarter, right? He had like 340 or something in the third quarter, going into the fourth. I told my cousin, I said, yo, if he get like $150 or some shit like that in this quarter, he gonna have a nickel. He was like, man, for real? I was like, man, go look. And they showed the stats, and it right after I said that he had 340, he threw like a 20-yard screen pass or something like that. Like it was just going up and going up. And then he threw another long one. It was like 3rd and 19. And he threw it to who? Travis fucking Hunter. 3rd and 19. 3rd and 19. Travis Hunter. They was going crazy. They got 2 Heisman candidates on the same team, man. These young niggas is on there looking like superstars, man. These niggas gonna get so much pussy and money. They got so much pussy and money in their future. This is crazy. Niggas is on there with their fucking dreadlocks and pop smoke braids and shit. Shedeur like, man, I ain't never threw for this many motherfucking passing yards in my life. You know? He said, man, I don't think I ever threw for this many yards in my life. So they counted us out. You know what I mean? They was talking shit about my pops. You know what I'm saying? Like disrespecting us. He said we learned a whole lot about people and shit because they was talking shit. They was talking shit about how Deion was running this program there. And now, this. The nigga's anointed, man. He's anointed. He got his son, the star quarterback. Just broke the school record in his first fucking start. He's wearing number 2. That's Deion college number. His other son named Shiloh, he on the defense wearing number 21. He's smacking shit. Making plays. This is crazy. The chemistry during crunch time between Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter, you're going to hear about this for the rest of the week. For the rest of the week. It was like them niggas. You know what he said in an interview? They asked him why he was so good, why he was so proficient. He was like, man, I got to play against the best corner in the world in practice. You know what I mean? Travis Hunter, who was next to him, and shit, he was like, man, all the ins and outs and shit. Like, he was like, man, I got to be on top of my shit, man. Like, this is crazy, though. Want to know. That's what I came here for. To shout out to the Colorado Buffaloes football squad. This is going to be an injection into football. People who ain't even really tuning in or who haven't been tuning in. I wouldn't have probably been watching the whole game today. If it was Colorado and TCU any other time, I wouldn't have watched that whole game. I'd have been flipping through channels looking at a few games and shit. That's how I watch college football and shit. Like, until I see a good one, like, until I see a dog fight, that's the one I'm going to watch and shit. But, nah. Yeah, they got that shit on, man. Shout out to Prime. He got a great core. He needs more beef. They need to lift more weights. The recruiting is going to go through the roof. He about to start a dynasty at Colorado, like the way Bobby Bowden was at Florida State. Speaking of Bobby Bowden, seen Danny Cannell, who was a former Florida State quarterback. He was nice too, big time. Played in the NFL. I think he played for the Giants. Danny Cannell said something critical about Deion because in an interview, they asked Deion about his college allegiances or something like that. And I guess he didn't big up Florida State or didn't mention Florida State like they would like him to have done. And instead, he mentioned Talladega State, a black college that he actually graduated from. He didn't graduate from Florida State. He left there early, got the Heisman, left there early to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And when he went back to school, he didn't go back to Florida State. He went to Talladega State. I don't know where that's. I think it's probably like Alabama or some shit like that. But that's where he graduated from, and that's what he represents. And Danny Cannell has some things to say. He said, man, he could have did better than that. He wasn't really disrespectful. He was like, he could have did better than that. You know, we the school to put him on the map. We the school that retired his jersey. We the school that, Coach Bowden, he let him be prime here. You know what I mean? Like, that shit was all created here and shit like that. So I guess I see his point of view to an extent, a little extent. But most people like myself is going to side with Deion 100%. Iconic, man. Like, you know what's crazy? Believe it or not, we probably won't get to see. Well, I think he said he don't want to go to the NFL. I think he said he'd stay put in college. The journey might continue. Like, ain't no telling where this could end. But as of right now, his magnetism with the youth in regards to recruiting and shit is unmatched. It's unmatched. If you young and black, man, like, you can hear about this shit on accident and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can become it's a whole lot of people gonna become Colorado Buffalo fans this year. You know what I mean? People who like the other teams. I like Florida State. That's my squad. Like, I'm a Deion fan.
I watch college, but I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah. I'm more Colorado all season long. Right now they gonna have Fox popping. Like, they just went 1-0 against TCU, and next week they home opener. That home opener is gonna be so motherfucking crazy, man. They only got I believe about 50 yards, maybe 60 yards rushing on the ground. They got to do better than that, because teams are going to start, trying to prepare for, Shador. Okay, you're not going to run, and them niggas back there, which you ain't going to run. We're going to take a couple steps back, but he was beating their ass underneath. That's what I was saying to you. Like, he was beating them underneath. Like, the long ball only came during the flow of the game and shit. And he got a nice, pretty ball. He kind of like hang it up there. Couple of drops. Couple of guys dropped some touchdown passes by him. I thought he was going to get 600 yards, man. When they finally slowed TCU down, that final, I think it was a 3rd and 9, which turned into a 4th and 9, which was primarily the deciding factor. I was like, because TCU was moving that ball, man. Like, they was kind of moving that ball. They wasn't so much a threat passing. And it seemed to me like TCU wasn't playing to win. It seemed like they was playing to tie. Yeah, that's why I remember it was 45-42. It seemed like TCU wasn't, because they was running back to the line leisurely. You know what I mean? The clock was running. And I'm just watching him walk back to the line and shit. They calling their cadence and shit. I like the way the Deion coaches and shit, man. There was a play in the first half where they needed to get in field goal range. They put neon cones on the sidelines where they needed to get with the ball to get in field goal range. So the quarterback should do it so he can look to the sidelines and say, okay, we need about 8 yards and shit like that. Like, the way that they playing football, the coaches was crying after the game because they counted them out. And this is the big time now, shit. And I can't wait for them to play bigger games against bigger opponents. And Colorado, you need a linebacker. Y'all need to get mean. Y'all need to get mean. The way y'all play football, it looks like a Deion Sanders creation. It does. But y'all need to get mean and y'all need to get nasty. I didn't see no hitting all day. I didn't see no hitting all day. I didn't see no hitting by Colorado all day. I seen tackling. I didn't see no hitting. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see no pad smacking. There was a couple times on, it was like 3rd and 2 and shit like that. They ended up having to punt the ball, I believe. 3rd and 2, man, Shador, man, he think he's in the shotgun or some shit like that. You roll out, man, you gotta go ahead, man, smack pass sometimes, man. It's 2 yards, man. You pretty big dude and shit. I mean, your dad wasn't known for taking tackles either. They said he didn't like being tackled either and shit. So, but, man, you got to smack pass, man. The other quarterback, he scored on a long run. You know what I'm saying? Scored on a long one from like 30 or 40 yards out and shit. You know what I'm saying? Took off straight up the middle and shit. And I'm like, man, I know Shador. I know he's athletic and shit. He got to show us that speed package a little bit. But as of right now, he's cooler than Joe Namath in the pocket. His efficiency is up. I want to see how much. I want to see the ratings, the Nielsen ratings, where they rate how many people was tuned into that game. I know that more people probably watched that game on that channel than any other game on that channel in recent years, or probably any other sporting event. I don't know what that. No, it'd be NFL on Fox, but I know that the numbers is off the charts, and a lot of revenue was created by that one game. You know what I'm saying? Merchandise. I want a number 2 jersey. I know them number 2 jerseys is gonna be popping, and I hope that Shador keeps his head on. I hope he keeps his head on. And I hope he hasn't been a problem thus far. He got his father there with him and shit. I hope he just keeps it together, man, because he about to have some problems. Them bitches about to come for him, my nigga. Like, this motherfucker was on the halftime, man, with the Pop Smoke braids swinging in the motherfucking air and shit. Like, man, I ain't never did this type shit in my life. Smiling and shit. The Travis Hunter next to him, man. Them niggas looking like WWF tag team partners, man. This shit was crazy. So I had to get on here and talk about that. They 1-0. Let me see what's something else. Records broken for passing yardage at the university. Nobody has ever had 510 yards passing in a game. And Cordell Stewart was there. And Darian Hagan was there. He was pretty good too, but he was kind of like an option quarterback. But 510, man, that's a hell of a statement to the nation who questions the expertise and the skills of black quarterbacks and shit. He just stepped it up from the SWAC conference, historic black conference and shit or whatever, to this. And that black coach, it was a black coach that was hating big time, talking about, I'm the SWAC. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't remember his name. I know you was tuned in, and I know you was watching. I know you was hoping that Deion failed, and you hope that Colorado lost. I was thinking about that on my way to the studio. Like, damn, as elated as all of us online seem to be in my world, there's people that wanted him to lose. There's people that's upset right now that he won and shit like that. There's people that want him to fail, and it ain't going like that. For the rest of the season, though, Colorado TV, if you can get it on television, if they got like a college ticket or something like that, I think the Fire Stick, you can probably get any college game or some shit like that. Just tune in to all their games. It's going to be a great season, record break, but they need more contributions from the motherfucking backfield, the running backs and tailbacks. They got loose a couple times. They won the game, 45 points. That mean everybody was doing a job. But I remember a stat that stuck out to me was in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, the game was almost over with. They showed the total offense stats on the screen. Colorado had 557 yards total offense, and at this time, Deion Sanders had 510 yards passing. You know what I'm saying? So he needs some help. He needs drastic help from the backfield. They gotta make a statement. I believe that they probably would get some opportunities to make some statements. They got to be in that gym working to make some statements, because they got to respect that passing game like a motherfucker, y'all. I I've seen some bad motherfucking black quarterbacks. Andre Ware, Michael Vick, Tony Rice, Major Harris, Cam Newton. I've seen just so many greats, man. James Brown to play for Texas, man. Damian Craig to play for Auburn back in the day. So many great, nice. I can't remember if I seen somebody go off black 510 with my own eyes. And I seen some nice niggas. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm pretty sure somebody probably got a nickel or better before, but on TV, in my face, a black quarterback in college, 5'10", and didn't run, unheard of. That's different. That's a different vibe right there. That's a different vibe right there. He had no rushes, man. If he had some rushes, they probably would have had more total offense. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, he threw the ball away, ran out of bounds and shit like that. But his the offense is nice. Shout out to the offensive coordinators. And they got a lot of fucking confidence in him, man. And that's something I wanted to bring here to these people tonight, because the rest of the world is going to be talking about it. My platform based on hip-hop, sports, and fashion got to bring it to you first. Nick, how much time we got left over here?
About 15 minutes.
How many more tracks do I got? Make sure you use that instrumental I gave you. Like, you could use it, kind of like extensively on this joint right here. You know what I mean? This joint right here is celebratory, man. I need laughter. I need fucking rounds of applause, all that shit. I feel like Doug Williams, the Doug Williams era when Doug Williams won the fucking Super Bowl. This is only one game. I know I shouldn't feel like this, but shout out to Feely for University of Colorado. I think they said he's a freshman. He's number 17. He's the kicker, place kicker. He got his first kick blocked in the first half. He got it blocked, but right before halftime, he made a great statement. He made a 49-yarder, and he was going crazy. He reminded me of the way Magic was celebrating when Kareem hit that shot back in the day. He was going crazy. Somebody had to really tell this nigga to settle down. But shout out to everybody who been tuning in to the Dribble. We needed this. We needed this shit to diffuse a lot of shit that's going on online. We got Bimmy and Zip with the Drip situation that's just tearing through the internet. And I need all pugilists to go back to your respective corners. We got about 72 hours off of that. My niggas, let's get money and, get to this Pillmatic 2 shit, man. Shout out to Zip with the Drip. Shout out to everybody who been tuning in. Make sure y'all go listen to and watch my most recent masterpieces, Ink That Baddie, The Delinquents, The Mechanics from the Bay Area, B. McFly from Philly. I be pouring it on, man. That's how I stay in this shit. I pour this shit on from different angles. Hip-hop, sports, and fashion. Make sure you... the knits. The knittage. The knit sales have taken off already for the fall season, and I appreciate all of y'all, man.